Good day and welcome to the phonograph. Today we've got quite a treat. This little gramophone here is the watchtower gramophone. That's the gramophone that was made for the Jehovah's Witnesses gramophone. This was the gramophone they would go door to door with. And they're pretty sturdy, and I can tell that out of experience because as soon as I had it, I placed it on an elevation, and I didn't place it there very well, and it fell off. But nothing was damaged, so they're pretty sturdy. The motor that's in here is also pretty sturdy. There's a very long spring in there, and it runs for quite a long time, and it runs very silently. As you can observe, nearly no sound. And this motor hasn't been cleaned up yet at all. It simply still works perfectly. Speed is a little off, but I can reset that. Let's stop this and give it a bit of a rewind. It's a bit, on a platform like this, it's a bit hard to wind. So there we go. That was all. The only downside to the machine is the sound box. I don't know if you can see this, but the aluminium membrane inside here is completely flat. There's no embossing of any kind. If you take this Russian fake 5B, you see that there's embossing of the membrane, and this helps to make it more sturdy and also to have less vibrative sound effect, resonance. This has a lot of resonance. I rebuilt this and dampened certain parts with a flexible type of wax, so the resonance would go down, and it's still very much a resonant sound box. Okay, and basically it's only good enough for speech. Only talking on a record can be played somewhat. If you play music on this, it goes all over the place. I can let's see. Yes, this is I don't have the oh, something fell over here. There, put it back. I don't have the Bible and Tract Society original records by Judge Rutherford, but I do have gramophone records, which are also speech, so technically they should work just fine, and they're pretty much from the same era as well. So let's start this up.
Leçon 1. Première leçon. La famille Durand. La gravure représente un salon. La famille Durand est dans le salon. Elle comprend le grand-père, la grand-mère, le père, la mère, le fils, la fille et le bébé. Le grand-père est assis dans un fauteuil. Il fume la pipe. La grand-mère aussi est assise dans un fauteuil. Elle lit un livre. Le père, Monsieur Durand, écrit une lettre sur la table.
I think that's quite enough. But it's good enough for speech. But let's try to find a bit of music. Doesn't matter. More stuff from the same era. let's see. No, that's too old. That's too young. Too new. Far too old. Come on. Always when you want something. Damn bamboo sticks. That's about it. That's a Sterno record. I think that had something to do with a Bible Society as well. There we are. I think it has juice enough to... It's a soft record, that goes reasonably well, surprisingly enough. It's always when you want to demonstrate something that it doesn't go like you want to. You say, the sound box doesn't work, and then you pick up an amount of records and it does work. Ah, damn it. Speech as well. Where were you when I needed you? Gee, but I hate to come home, Foxtrot. Okay. So. I think that kind of proves it. I saw a record with speech on. Where was it? No. Oh, damn it. I had it just now. Freaking. Never mind. Anyway, back to this thing. Oh, is it okay? Well, like I said, this is the Bible and Tract Society Watchtower gramophone, the gramophone of the Jehovah Witnesses, but with one slight difference. This is not the one you usually see on eBay, because the one you see on eBay, and actually there are two different types of this particular layout. This is a British made version, and for me that was kind of disappointing, because I expected the very strong motor that they also used in the Navy and Army gramophone, but no, we have a relatively good garage motor in there. That is very silent, even though it's effing dirty. A pity that I couldn't find that second record with speech. The hinge, had gone undone, and I just glued it. It's already perfectly back together again. I hope to find the original record. As you heard, this soundbox is pretty much the very big disappointing thing of this gramophone. But of course, it wasn't meant to play music. It was meant to play speech, and it does that very, very well. At least well enough for the listener to discern what the person on the record is saying. And that's all it needed to do. It needed to bring over a message. The message was the message that the Jehovah's Witnesses bring. And it needed to do nothing more. So of course it would have a crappy sound box, because you don't want people to run about with this thing and use it for entertainment, because that's not what it was meant for. What it was meant for is to bring God to everybody's home. And it's kind of strange that it ended up in my home, because this is a stronghold of atheists. But, I love strange things that kind of flopped, because this kind of did. I've seen the American ones all over the place, but I've seen very, very few of these. What could have happened to made it end up not in the circles of the Jehovah's Witnesses, where most of these things tend to be? And the thing is, see this? This used to say Watchtower, Bible and Tract Society. Portable phonograph, and then a serial number and such. And under here it says made on the British Isles. So it's made somewhere, and I think I've got a pretty good idea where it has been made. It has a Garrett motor. It has a sound box that is made in Sheffield. So I think that's basically where it was produced. But these things were pretty generic, and it could be that multiple factories produce these gramophones, because London is very far away from the middle of Scotland, and it probably would be cheaper to build the gramophone locally. There is a very weird thing with this machine, and for that I need to take you off the stand. There we go flying. Okay, we go over here. It focuses perfectly. Oh, it doesn't. There we are. Look at that. That, my friends, is weird. Why are there recesses in the horn for this arm stand? Seems like somebody didn't plan ahead and used parts that already existed. Namely, this horn being too high for this arm grip. Because if you would have planned this ahead, you would have made the horn just a bit shorter than the screws for aesthetic reasons, not making huge holes in the horn to fit the screws. which is very, very weird. I've never seen this before anywhere. I've seen that they had an arm stand that went through the horn, but that kind of was meant to do that. It even had a, it even was thickened on that spot for that very reason. So, that's the weird thing. Oh, wait, this is the little plate. There it used to say watchtower, and under there probably remains are there a little bit Bible and Tract Society, portable phonograph, serial number, and made in the British Isles. Then we have this strange contracting of the material on the inside, and the strange thing is they all have that. This material is textile with a very thin layer of real natural rubber. And real natural rubber, like this middle piece over here, rot. It rots. So it shrinks, contracts, and forms these strange. Doesn't look good, but that's how it is. Another thing I put you back on there, but I wasn't finished with this yet, is look at this. I think that's a very big design flaw. When I first saw that, I thought, the gramophone had sunken into its case, but no, it's supposed to look like that. Isn't that lovely? Because here it sinks into the case. I don't know if I can. There we are. There you can see it. If we go over there, it's at the slant. Isn't that weird? And you know why? You know why this is at a slant? Because somebody had to hold it in their arms. And it would have been easier to keep it at a slight slant than to keep it absolutely level. So when you hold it in a slight slant, the thing is actually level. Isn't that marvelous? Strange thing for a religious item is that the hardware on it, I don't know if you can read this, probably not, are made by Gothic minor. That almost sounds like something devilish, doesn't it? Gothic. Oh well, you've got Gothic churches, so, but Gothic nowadays is far more, darker stuff than it used to be. Well, I think we pretty much said everything we wanted to say about this machine. Oh yeah, by the way, found a key. The key fits in the hole. Key doesn't turn. Why? This little thing on the end of the key, I don't know if you can focus on that. No, it was okay the first time. That part is too broad. Half of it needs to come off, and then it will fit, and then it will turn. So this key is perfect for this gramophone after a bit of grinding. Now, let's pack this thing up. There we are. Strange that this rubber in the middle is blue. Smurf blue. There we go. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. There we are. Of course, this used to fit, but the rubber is absolutely solidified. Well, that works. Close it. Close the Gothic minor hardware. And we're done with this little thing. Well, I hope you liked it. Goodbye.